In this video, we'll see what is the meaning of Gibbs phase rule. We'll apply Gibbs phase rule to different parts of a phase diagram and see what is the physical significance of it. This is the Gibbs phase rule we have derived in the last video. F equals C minus P plus 2. F is the degrees of freedom, number of independent variables in a phase equilibrium. C is the number of components in the system, and P is the number of phases, the equilibria itself, how many number of phases are in equilibrium, that is P. We can use C minus P plus 1 instead of C minus P plus 2 for constant pressure cases, which is true for the phase diagrams that we are going to see. Let's consider a eutectic phase diagram. We have this temperature versus composition diagram where single phases like alpha, liquid and beta are there, and there are different two-phase domains. There is also a eutectic reaction, the horizontal line in the middle. So this is the binary system AB. In this system, we will consider different points and apply Gibbs phase rule to that. We'll start with this point number 1. It is inside the single phase alpha, right? So at this point, if we apply the Gibbs phase rule, C is 2 since it is a binary system, and P is 1 since we are considering a single phase domain. So F turns out to be 2. Degrees of freedom is 2. What does it mean? Both composition XB and temperature can be varied and single phase remains in equilibrium. We are not talking about XA here, talking about only XB is fine because in a binary system XA depends on XB. 1 minus XB is going to be XA. So XB takes care of all the composition variables. So what is the meaning of this? XB and T can be varied and single phase remains in equilibrium. What is the meaning of it? This can be varied independently. That's the meaning. Let's see what it is. Consider this point 1. Think about moving this down the temperature. Like temperature is decreasing. Do we lose the single phase from equilibrium? We are still in the single phase field, right? So temperature is varied. Composition is not varied here. And composition need not stay in any particular value also. For this particular temperature, composition can vary from this point to this point. It is still the single phase field. So there is no restriction on composition there. So temperature can vary and composition need not vary according to the temperature to some value. So composition and temperature are independent here. Okay, you can also think the other way around. Here we have reduced the temperature. You can also think about changing the composition to some value within this alpha field. It doesn't require that temperature has to also change accordingly. There is no restriction on temperature there. Okay, this thing will become much more clear when we consider the two-phase equilibria. So this is what the single phase equilibria is. When temperature changes, composition need not change or move to a specific value. It is independent of temperature. When composition changes, temperature need not change or move to any specific value. It is independent of composition. Let's consider this point 2 in a two-phase field, alpha plus liquid. Here, we know that alpha should have some composition and liquid should have some composition to be in equilibrium. Alpha should have this XB alpha. Correspondingly, there will be a XA alpha. And a liquid should have this XB liquid. Only then this when the alpha and liquid have these particular compositions, only then they can remain in equilibrium at this temperature where we have drawn the tie line. So if we apply Gibbs phase rule here, what does it say? Number of components are 2, number of phases in equilibrium are 2. So F turns out to be 1. Degree of freedom 1. What does it mean? Any one of composition and temperature can be varied and two phases remain in equilibrium. If you want to change both independently, then two phases will not remain in equilibrium. That's the meaning of it. So you may be thinking, what is this XB alpha? Why we are taking only this as the composition variable? For that's why we have derived the entire. That is how we have derived the entire Gibbs phase rule. But anyway, we will see it here for this specific case. You can see XB alpha. If we say amount of B in alpha, it automatically defines what is amount of A in alpha. That is a binary. So XA alpha depends on XB alpha. Fine. We also know that XA alpha is going to define what is activity of A in alpha, isn't it? Activity is a function of mole fraction, right? So if activity is going to be dependent on composition of A in alpha, which in turn depends on X of B alpha, we can write directly this one. Activity of A in alpha depends on XB of alpha. Fine. So if activity of one element in a phase has this value, and if this phase is in equilibrium with another phase liquid, then the activity of A in that phase also should be equal, isn't it? So A of alpha is equal to A of liquid. So if this depends on XB alpha, then A liquid also depends on XB alpha, isn't it? Okay. So if A is a function of XA, AAL is function of XAL, and if AA depends on XB alpha, XAL also depends on XB alpha, right? If XA alpha depends on XB alpha, what about XB alpha? XB alpha depends on XA alpha, 1 minus XA alpha it is basically, isn't it? So that also depends on XB alpha. So you can see all these things are depending on XB alpha, fine. So only that can be used here as a composition variable. So now that is not an important thing. Now we will see what Gibbs phase rule means here. Okay, think about this point moving up like this. Okay, temperature is changing. You may think that we are still in two phase region, but you think about the composition XB alpha. What happens to that? Draw a tie line here and see. So this is the new XB alpha, isn't it? So when temperature changes, XB alpha cannot remain same, and it cannot go to any random number value. It has to have this particular value. Okay, so XB alpha is restricted now. When we change temperature freely, XB alpha, the composition is restricted. Okay, similarly, if we try to change composition freely, temperature will be restricted. Think about changing XB alpha. XB alpha, let's say we move from this value to some other value, then temperature will be value that corresponds to this point. Okay, like that. So these two cannot vary independently. We can vary only one value independently. When temperature changes, XB alpha must change to a new value along the light blue line. You can see here, when we change the temperature, XB alpha changes along this light blue line for two phases to remain in equilibrium. Okay, only then we can talk about this two phase equilibrium. So this is what Gibbs phase rule tells us. So this is called monovariant, means only one can be varied in this phase equilibrium. Only one variable can be changed in this phase equilibrium of two phases in a two component system. Okay, so these are called monovariant phase equilibrium. Right. What about overall composition? We are talking only about XB alpha and the XA alpha, XB liquid and XA liquid, which are individual phase compositions. Why are we not talking about overall composition? If you see how we have derived Gibbs phase rule, we never used overall composition there. In fact, overall composition can vary throughout this range. Imagine, throughout this entire range, overall composition can be anything. But in that entire range, only two phases will be in equilibrium and they will have these two particular compositions. So overall composition doesn't matter here. We talk about individual phase compositions. Which phases are in equilibrium? What is their chemical composition? Fine. Let us apply it here at point number 3 here, which is in the eutectic line, which means three phases are in equilibrium. Alpha, liquid and beta, all three are in equilibrium. Throughout this entire dark blue line, that is true. So when we apply Gibbs phase rule, 2 minus 3 plus 1, the P is 3 here, three phases are in equilibrium. So F turns out to be 0 here. What does it mean? None of the variables, none of composition and temperature can be varied for three phases to remain in equilibrium. If you change any one, that's all, the equilibrium is disturbed. So here we are talking about XB alpha. Why we are talking about only this? How can it take care of all the composition variables? You can check this, you can possibly pause the video and see whether these arguments are fine with you. So that is not that much important. We'll talk about what does it mean. Let us think about that. When temperature changes, three-phase equilibria does not exist. Okay, the moment you change the temperature from this point to any other point, that's how the equilibrium is disturbed. No matter how xb alpha changes, okay, so the moment the temperature changes, the equilibrium is disturbed. Similarly, think about changing xb alpha. If xb alpha changes, what will happen? Xb alpha is this point. Alpha's composition in this three-phase equilibria is this point. Okay, is this composition. That composition changes, what will happen? From this point, other than this point, we don't have any other alpha in equilibrium with liquid and beta. Only alpha of this composition is in equilibrium with liquid and beta throughout this line. Okay. So if that changes, then again three-phase equilibrium is disturbed. Okay. Since we cannot vary any variable here, it is called an invariant equilibrium. Okay. So this reaction is an invariant reaction. Eutectic reaction is an invariant reaction. So that means we cannot change any variable. So now you can see this entire domain, entire range. Throughout this range, this particular argument is valid. Okay, that is the three-phase equilibrium. All those overall compositions will obey this. So you can see the significance of Gibbs phase rule. Every point in the phase diagram has to obey Gibbs phase rule. That's the power of it. We can use it to understand phase diagrams, understand phase equilibria. We can use it to predict phase diagram. It's quite powerful. Okay, see you in the next video.